getting into loan to value. So loan to value you're going to often hear as or see written as LTV. So that can have a couple different meanings. Sometimes when we're talking about the value, we mean the value of just the purchase price. So, that would be if you're buying a rental property or if you're buying a regular house to live in, that's the most important number there is what's the house worth right now without you doing anything to it, what's it worth? So that's loan to value of the purchase price. However, if we're talking about a fix and flip loan, specifically, using hard money, doing the scenario we're doing, what we're looking at here is most of the time the loan to value is we're going to be looking at the after repair value. So, very common, you might hear somebody say, we're going to lend you 85% of the purchase price, 100% of the rehab, and up to 70% of the ARV. So in this case, that would look like an 85, 100 loan up to 70% of the ARV. So that's what we're looking at here. So 70% of the ARV, I'm going to use a calculator just to make sure I get it right. So if the after repair value is $300,000, times that by 0.7, so the maximum loan is $210,000 with an after repair value of $300,000. So if it's $210,000, that's 70%. That's 70% of the $300,000. Then 85% of the purchase price, which is 85. Sorry if that's scribbly. 85,000, 85K, and 100% of the rehab. Well, in this case, that's only $185,000. So we're going to lend the full 85% of the purchase and 100% of the rehab. No issue on that because it falls well below our maximum loan amount of $210,000. So if we were to adjust a little bit here, in other words, that deal we just looked at was a fantastic deal. Buy that one all day long, every day. But let's just say instead of $100,000, that's a 5 again. So let's say $150,000. Try to clean that up a little bit. So now $150,000 with $100,000 rehab. So 85% of the 150. Punched a button wrong. So 127.5. So that's the amount that we're going to lend on the purchase at 85,100 with $150,000 purchase. So then we're going to lend the full 100% of the rehab. But you may notice here now we just went over. So in this scenario, you had to bring 22,000. So down payment was 22,500. But now the total loan amount, 100,000 plus 127.5. Now we're at 227,500. So you're $17,500 over the maximum loan amount. What that means is the difference. So 17,500 is the difference between the maximum loan at 70% loan to value and the 227,500, which is the total of what we have just using the 85% of the purchase and 100% of the rehab. So what's going to happen is this is your down payment plus, because we're capping it at that 70%, now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, that difference of 17,500, so we're going to add those up together. So if my math's easy here, did I just land on 40? So now instead of a 22,500 down payment, now you're at a $40,000 down payment because of that 70% max loan amount, 70% of the after repair value. So that's the loan to cost and how it works. Now, the two deals that we just did with $100,000 purchase, $100,000 rehab, and a $300,000 ARV, there was a $100,000 spread there. That is a fantastic deal. Buy that deal all day long. However, if I have somebody bring me this deal as we're looking at it now, what I tell most people, because a lot of people get really picky about, oh, I got to make sure my lender goes up to 75% instead of 70% of ARV, or maybe 65% of ARV. So while that's true, and even ourselves, we do have programs that go up to 75% of the after repair value. However, if you look at this deal, it's not good. So if you have to bring an extra $17,500 because of an after repair value or a loan to value issue, to me as a lender or an investor, either way, I'm going to probably talk to you more investor to investor. I'm going to have you look at that and say, you know what? That is not a very good deal. Once so there's a $50,000 spread between your cost and your after repair value. Well, you've got your selling costs, you've got your points, you've got interest payments that you're going to have to make there. Plus anything can go wrong with the rehab. So there's, to me, if you're putting $250,000 into a deal, there needs to be a bigger spread than $50,000. Now that $50,000 spread is not your profit. We're going to get into that and calculations, how to calculate the total profit of a deal. We're going to get into that later.